Is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre is really your cup of tea? Then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the GSMC Weird News Podcast, brought to you by GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ariane, and I am joined here with the beautiful Heidi.
Hello.
Our first topic today is about a barber who is in the Guinness World Records for the oldest working barber. This barber works full-time, and he is 107 years old.
Wow.
Crazy. He works in New York. His name is Anthony Mancinelli, and New Windsor. That's where it's at.
Okay, New Windsor, New York.
We were having a discussion off air earlier about what city is it, and I was like, I don't know.
Well, you still had to say new twice, so you didn't get to avoid it.
I know. What happened? Anyway, he works full time from noon to 8 p.m., 5 days a week. Apparently, he's pretty healthy. So I was like, go ahead. He got the Guinness World Record when he was 96.
What?
Yeah.
And he kept going.
Yeah, he keeps going. And I believe he still holds it to this day each year.
Man, I don't want to work till I'm 107.
I don't even know if I want to be alive.
Right, yeah. I don't know if I want to be alive till 107.
He does look pretty healthy, though. Like, he looks a little kind of frail, like he could break or the wind could blow him away, but other than that, like, he stands on his feet all day.
Wow.
He apparently he doesn't have any like shakes, so
I hope
he
not.
has a steady barber's hand.
I hope he has like some insoles in his shoes or something.
I know. It's crazy. So here's a little backstory. He was born in 1911 in near Naples, Italy, and he immigrated to the States with his parents when he was 8. And then he started working in a barber shop, I think just kind of helping out, sweeping up, the clippings and stuff like that when he was 11, but then actually started being a barber, like cutting hair, when he was 12. Yeah. And
wow. So he holds the record for being the oldest working barber. Does he have a record for being like working as a barber the longest?
I don't know if he has that record. Huh. He should, though, if he's, I mean, that's crazy.
Started at 12?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 84 years. Is it 84? 80-something years?
I don't know. You're asking me to do math.
Probably 90-something years. And
started when he was 11?
Yeah.
So he's been doing it for 96 years.
Well, he started working in a barbershop when he was 11. He actually started cutting hair when he was 12.
Oh, okay. Then 95.
Yeah, 95 years. So then he kind of just dropped out of school because around that time, by the time he was like 12, it was around the Great Depression time.
Okay.
So him and his family needed money, so he dropped out of school and kind of worked at the barbershop so he can help with some income and everything like that, which I thought is cool because not cool that he had to drop out of school. That's horrible. Like, I'm sure he would want to further his education, but I mean, if you're making good money as a barber,
right,
keep doing it.
And he's one of 8 children.
One of 8, and he's the last one that's alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he wasn't the youngest?
It didn't say if he was it didn't say if he was the youngest or where he was in the lineup, but it did say he was one of 8 and he's the only surviving one. Yeah.
Sad.
When they did the interview, it was kind of a sad topic for him because when they were like asking about his family, you could tell that he missed them. You know what I mean? Because longevity doesn't really run in his family. He said a lot of his family passed away like in their 80s.
Oh.
And yeah. So he has a son actually that's like 81 years old. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And his son is like, my dad won't let me. He's very self-independent and, he doesn't like anybody to help him with anything.
Right. My dad won't let me cut my own hair.
Yeah, exactly. But,
wow.
he is, what is he saying? Oh, it was so cute. He was talking about haircuts and how much they cost. He was like, I remember back when I started cutting, haircuts cost 25 cents.
Wow.
25 cents.
I wish my haircut cost 25 cents.
Oh my God. Right? That's a haircut. Oh my gosh. My son's haircuts cost $25 and that's just not even a tip. So,
right. And that's like for like a guy's haircut too.
just a simple fade in a lineup. So
man.
I'm like, wow, 25 cents. But now his haircuts cost $19.
Oh, yeah, that's a markup.
Yeah, it will benefit on him. But it was cute because they asked him if he knows, I mean, the different styles he can cut. And he was like, oh, I do it all. I can do the shag. What did he say? Oh, I can't even find it right now. He said he just follows the trend and he has no problem just adjusting to whatever's in, I guess.
Oh, I cut them all. Long hair, short hair, whatever style. The shag, the Buster Brown, straight bangs.
Yeah. I don't even know what the Buster Brown is. I think I'm too young for that.
Yeah. He knows.
Right.
You could ask him. He knows.
He does. And, which is, and another interesting thing is the shop owner, her name is Jane Dineza. I don't know if I said that properly.
Dineza, yeah.
Right. So she says that he never calls in sick. Like, he'll schedule his off days, like, if he has, like, a plan to do something else. But he doesn't ever call in sick. And she also says that he works, like, better than her younger barbers. Like, there's a 20-year-old who has a barber chair right next to him. And he complains about being on his feet all day and just sits down and plays on his phone. And she's just
Good for Anthony.
I know. And so she's like, no, he's standing and he's cutting all day. I thought one cool thing is they asked him, if there's one thing he always keeps with him. And he says that he always keeps in his barber drawer, I guess like barbers have drawers or whatever.
Yeah, where he keeps his clippers and stuff.
But he said he always keeps a pair of manual clippers just in case the power goes out.
He's so prepared. And he probably is like, back in my day, I had to use these all the time.
They were the ones he used, Like back there, he's like, I used to use these before the electric ones came out. So I just keep them with me in case the power goes out. And it's like, whose hair are you going to cut in the dark?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no matter how steady your hand is.
Yeah, exactly. So
well, then he probably has the candle in the other drawer
I know.
use.
Right? He's very prepared. It's crazy. I thought this was awesome because just the fact that he's over 100 and he's still, he can drive. He drives himself to work. He can stand up. He cooks his own food.
Wow.
He's a pretty healthy guy. In the interview, it said that he only goes to the doctors because people tell him to. He's like, I'm fine. I don't have any aches and pains.
Man, that's like me now.
I know. We're also young. We're like, no, my back hurts.
Right.
I don't want to do anything. But he's not on any medications. He doesn't wear glasses. He's a big pro wrestling fan. I don't know anything about wrestling, but I hear it's pretty awesome. So, he's a big pro wrestling fan, and his barber hand is steady still. So, another interesting fact that I read about him is that he has clients that are like over 50-year clients that he's had for like consistently. And then there's other clients that he has, specifically a 4-generational set of clients. So like he cuts the son, the dad, the grandpa, the great grandpa.
Oh, that's so cute.
I was like, see, barbers, you get like lifetime clients in that business.
Well, you have to know a good barber.
Oh yeah,
it's someone you have to know in the business. Man,
yeah,
good for him.
I thought that was the most awesome story because it is hard to find a good barber. I spoke on another show about how hard it was for me to find a barber for my son out here because I am so picky. I've been kicked out of barbershops because I'm like, his lineup's crooked. The fade looks horrible. It looks choppy. And they're like, please don't come back. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, but I have to pay you for this.
Right. And you're like, I have to look at my son's head.
Exactly. I mean, he has to wear it and he doesn't really care. But if I have to look at it and it looks like trash, I'm not happy.
Also, another thing that I liked in here is that they asked what his longevity secret was. And he said his secret is I eat thin spaghetti so I don't get fat.
Right. And that is super cute because I bet he got that from his wife. Which he did lose his wife when about 15 years ago, it said. Aww. And every morning before work, he stops by her gravesite and then goes into work.
That's so cute and so sad.
I know. At the same time, you just want to be like, oh, let me give you a hug.
And they said that his wife was his wife of 70 years?
70 years. Her name was
Wow.
Carmela.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't say what she did for a profession, but she must have been a good woman.
Maybe she worked at the salon.
I know,
the street.
next to him.
Yeah.
Right? Crazy is he is so independent. They said the shop owner is, she said he won't even let other people like sweep up his like his area. He'll do all that himself.
So responsible.
I know. See, where are the rest of them? No, I feel like there's not many of those left.
Not all men.
Of course, I'm not going to go looking for a 107-year-old.
Yeah, that might be a little. So the term grave digger is coming up.
I know, right? Not gold
digger.
digger.
Yeah, and grave digger.
Something totally different.
Yeah.
But I thought that was such a cute story. Mr. Mancinelli, keep going as long as you can, and I wish him all the best because I thought that was awesome. We're going to take a quick break and come back with some more weird news.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. We're going to go into our next topic that I called Going Extinct. So this has to do with a study done between Europe and the U.S. A total of 124,000 men were studied. And what they studied was their sperm count quality. Now, they're saying that through this study, they've learned that the sperm count quality is being reduced by 2% every year. And they feel like if it continues to go down every year, they're concerned about human extinction, which is, I mean, that's a reachable, theory, I guess. I kind of don't really feel like it's that deep or that serious just because there's so many people in the world right now,
Right, yeah. I feel like we have a little while before we go extinct.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. I guess I don't know all the numbers, so I'm not sure how much a 2% decrease is.
Right.
But I don't know how significant that is. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess for them to claim that we could go extinct, it's probably pretty high.
Right. I know, yeah. So, well, here's the thing. They did another study that was focused on 2,600 sperm donors that were men with above normal fertility, showed the same pattern of lower sperm count. Now they feel like this is due to eating and pesticides in our foods, indulging too much in caffeine and alcohol, processed meat, stuff like that. Stress, smoking can reduce sperm levels, I guess.
Stuff that we already know is bad for us turns out is bad for us.
Exactly. In other ways. It's bad for us in other ways. You want to know every way it's bad for you. It's
right. Let us tell you about all the different ways.
Right. So, it was interesting because they said they did this study follows up on a previous study that was done from 1973 to 2011 that showed 59%. They showed a 59% cut in Western sperm counts. Now that's just I'm gonna say the Americas.
Right. So they did this study. The other study you quoted as well was Europe and the U.S. So they haven't done them other
countries. No, this was just those two.
Okay.
And I don't know if that specifically because they didn't really say, because it was done in Europe and America, they didn't say this specific race of each.
Okay, so they didn't separate. All right.
No, it was just a in general type of thing. Not this much in European men, this one in American men, African American men, stuff like that. It was just a kind of in general thing. So I thought, I mean, take it how you will, but still things are decreasing, and we need men around for things like procreating.
Right. Yeah.
But
Just
yeah,
for the birds and the bees.
exactly. There you go. Another big factor that they were saying is that they feel like this has an effect is that they're saying the increase in testicular cancer and a number of boys being born with one or both testicles missing. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how accurate that is, but I totally didn't know that some boys can be. Wouldn't that make them girls?
Well, I mean, if you have one.
Okay, true story there. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't know that they were like missing them.
So they're saying the reduced sperm count could be or sperm count quality could be causing these issues, or they're just related.
Factor, a factor to the lower sperm count could be because I mean, if
you're missing one, then you're
exactly you only get half. I mean, yeah.
I guess that does. I guess if you had increases in testicular cancer and other birth defects like this, that could contribute to a lower sperm quality count. Oh,
exactly.
Okay. Along with the other things they're saying,
right? Like
smoking, and which also probably contribute to the testicular cancer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So there's your decrease right there.
Oh, I see.
Is super crazy. There was one where scientists in Valencia, Spain, and in New Jersey, United States, carried out the first largest scale study known as the total motile sperm count. Modal sperm count. Yeah, where they split the men into 3 groups: low, medium, and high counts, and they studied specifically to see the decrease. And they said even in the high counts of TMSC, those men where their sperm count was decreasing by 1.8% each year.
And was that the same amount of decrease as men who were in the lower and the medium?
I think they were more concerned about the higher sperm count guys, just to see if, because even if they're like medium or lower, I feel like theirs would be low anyway. But in the higher level of the what is this? The
total modal sperm count.
Say that 3 times.
Yeah, the GSMC.
I know. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I mean, I kind of really don't feel like it's a super big deal because, I know a few people who have like 12 plus kids. So,
right. Yeah.
I mean, really.
I wonder if that would be a concern, though, if they're saying like maybe some men have it and some don't.
Yeah.
Because then that'd be like certain people would like reproduce more than others.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't say this is like a Handmaid's Tale situation yet, but it's interesting. I did read a little bit about this of some other people saying that even though this is a decrease, it's not like extinction level decrease.
No. I think they use that word just as like an eye catcher, like, wait, what?
Right,
the
just
human race could go extinct?
Right.
I don't really feel like it would really happen that way.
Right.
If the human race would become extinct, I don't feel like it would be due to low sperm count in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
There are many other things out there that could get us.
Exactly. Now, I mean, I didn't feel like it could balance. You can average it out, like the ones with the lower, the higher guys, help us out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that could change things in society, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also feel like with sciences and technology advancing as fast as they are, us women can do without you guys. I'm not saying that for real, guys. I'm just saying.
Couldn't they also store sperm?
Yeah, and
like sperm banks.
Yeah, and then freeze them, bring them back later. I heard that's what they were trying to do with like a dinosaur egg.
Oh, yeah. Just Jurassic Park situation.
Yeah, and they're trying to make it like real. So, I mean, I don't see why they couldn't do that with,
humans.
Exactly. Yeah. And even with the how you can choose the gender of your baby kind of thing, now you can choose more men to balance that out. Even if their sperm count is low, you can still like genetically grow them like that. I mean, or not artificially grow like men.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes, we're going to artificially grow men.
Test tube men.
Yes.
Yeah.
just in case.
We can just go and pick what features we want.
Yeah, I like that one.
Right.
We'll just put you guys in a lineup. It's like build your own man instead of build a bear.
I mean, that could be the future.
I mean, they're already doing it with the women and these like the sex dolls that they have out there.
That's
so
true.
It's like you guys done built your own women. How come? I think it would be like that. Reverse. What's it called? If we had our own men, they'd just throw a fit.
Yeah, I mean, if we had our own men, though, they'd be more interesting. They'd be able to, like, sing and do all these different things as opposed to just, like, having, like, a female doll.
I know.
We want them to be able to talk to us, at least.
But we don't really need that.
You're right. As long as I know they're listening.
Right. You listen to my problems. Don't tell me to get up and make you a sandwich or get you a beer or cook you any food.
Yeah, you just stay there.
Yeah. Push the record button so I can listen to my problems to myself later. I don't know. I don't need a response.
Yeah.
But then you hear those stories where like, you weren't listening to me. You didn't even respond.
How would we know if they were?
I don't know. But I just thought that was a crazy, weird story that they were thinking that, the human race could go extinct because of low sperm counts. I don't really feel like we're in that much of a danger to be doing, especially to be doing these kind of studies. It's like, I mean, if we were in like I think there's like 7 billion people in this world. If we were in like the low millions, maybe you might be able to
be more concerned.
I know.
Yeah, I feel like we're not having that problem right now.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's plenty of us around.
Right.
To keep going.
Yeah. I mean, definitely someone that we could keep looking at, but
yeah,
I'm not
until
concerned.
it's like a super big concern where we're on the endangered species list. We put ourselves on the endangered species list, then we can rethink that or revisit that. Until then, just a little bit of information for everybody out there in this weird news. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast. Our next topic is about the artist Banksy. I'm sure a lot of you know who he is. If you don't, he is a world-famous street artist whose identity is still a mystery. They still don't know who he is, what he looks like, anything like that. I love his artwork.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I've always admired his work. And then I also saw another a movie related to him. It's called like Exit Through the Gift Shop, which is really good. And I just loved it even more after learning more about him.
Oh yeah, I watched a documentary on him. It was actually one of his art pieces, where they were trying to. I don't know if it's here in California, in Southern California, something like that. But one of his art pieces is on the side of a building, and the police are trying to say that it's like graffiti and it shouldn't be up there, and they're fining the building owners if they don't take it down. But they want to keep it up there.
What is the picture of?
Just a big rat, his typical signature.
The rat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, this story has to do with one of his famous pieces of a little girl. Is black and white, little girl reaching out for a red heart-shaped balloon, and it was recently auctioned off in London, and it sold for $1.4 million. And I think that's translated into American money, not euros.
Not pounds.
Pounds, yeah, that's what it is, pounds. But yeah, so the crazy thing is immediately after it got sold, like as soon as the man hit like the little javel thing, it was like sold. It went through a shredder in the picture frame. So it like self-destructed. I thought it was the best thing ever.
I think important to note is that it's in like kind of like a gilded frame, like a big frame. And as soon as it's sold, it it like is set like the frame bottom
Yeah.
is a shredder. It's a paper shredder.
Yeah.
And it just feeds the paper in, and you see it come out the other side of the frame and just shreds.
Yeah. And it only shredded. It stopped halfway through. It only shredded half of the.
Just taunting you.
Yes, and it was so awesome because I follow Banksy on Instagram. He has amazing pieces, but he put this up on his Instagram. He showed the picture, and on the picture it said "going, going, gone" right as the auction finished.
Oh my God.
So he said he built the shredder into the picture frame years before, like when he made the picture, just in case it did get auctioned off eventually, so he could shred it.
This
so
is
like
amazing.
He just planned this whole stuff years before it even happened. On his IG video post of it, because he videoed the like as soon as it got sold, the shredding of it. His caption on that was, "The urge to destroy is also a creative urge." That's a quote by Picasso. And
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do too. I love his art. I love how he's, so mysterious about who he is, and he doesn't want people to know. But even, there's stories out there where he, I was just telling Heidi that there's a story where he has his, or did I just say this? The rat that's being...
Now I don't even know what's on the podcast and what's not anymore. Everything is just one.
Yeah.
I think it's on.
I think it's on. Well, his rat is being, taken for graffiti art.
Right. His
most of his pieces...
Rat mural.
Yeah. Most
a
of
lot
his
of
pieces
them are,
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're being covered up soon as he gets them done. And then soon as people find him, they call the local authorities and they make them cover it up.
Sad.
And I'm like, it's good
It's
pictures.
great art.
Yeah, and it's like one of those pictures where you see, or art where you see like a picture can speak 1,000 words, and it's just so realistic to what's going on in the world nowadays. You know what I mean? I love his art. He's such a great artist.
Yeah. And he does murals, and he also does like other sculpture work and installations, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love Banksy. I think he's an amazing artist in what he does. And it's not just stupid pictures either. It's like, why would you put that up? Especially if you want to consider it graffiti. Because even some graffiti is really pretty art.
Yeah. I think I remember in France, a really controversial one was in like a refugee camp. He did a painting of like the girl from Les Miserables.
Yeah.
And like just works that are really, I don't know, like they just really strike a chord.
Right.
They're very relevant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I thought that was the best story I read
that's
about
amazing.
all the world of the weird news stories. I was like, oh my gosh, Banksy is amazing. He's amazing. Or she, I don't know.
That's true. We don't know.
I don't know. I did watch a documentary where they were saying that one person who did know him he's a guy.
Yeah, I have heard that from people who actually know who Banksy is.
Right. I'm going to go on to another topic that was kind of crazy to me. I don't know if any of you have ever had a overdue library book, but this story is about an overdue library book by 84 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Can you imagine the bill?
I have had some overdue library books, thankfully not that much. But I feel like even like when you're like a kid and you're like, oh, 10 cents. Yeah. Like one day, 10 cents. Like it taught me responsibility.
Oh, right. Exactly. Well, this story comes from, where did this take place? In Louisiana. And the library was called Shreve Memorial Library in Louisiana. So this 11-year-old girl checked out a book. It was on poetry called Spoon River Anthology in 1934.
Right. So she checked it out in 1934.
Yeah. I guess the son was cleaning out his parents' house, and that's when he found the book and decided to return it 84 years later.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they even accepted it or recognized it.
Right. Well, back then they had like the punch out cards in the back.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
So yeah, and I don't know if any of you know what that is, but in the back of the books, this was how we checked out our books at my library in elementary, where the back has a punch out card. You write your name, the date, and then the librarian will tell you, okay, it's due in like 2 weeks. So you write the 2 week from now date. And that's basically how it was.
Right. Or they have a little stamp where they stamp it for the date that it's due.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it goes back in a little pocket in the back of the book. Man, what technology we used to have.
I know. I know.
so
No,
advanced.
it's just like scan it, it's do this. They even print you off a receipt.
I know, but that's like sad because now you're telling me how I myself have checked out books, and I'm like, man, what a genius system.
I know. You can never go wrong with. I was like, oh my gosh, especially it was one time I was describing to my kids what I had to learn in like looking up stuff and research papers. It's like you guys can Google anything.
Right, you used to have to go to a library physically.
Yeah, they had files and files of little cards, and you had to find your subject or find an author and flip through those cards, pick out, and go walk through the library to find that book.
God forbid you have to ask the librarian.
I know.
Like, talk to someone.
Shh, she'll sit there and just scream at you, be quiet. It's like, I'm so sorry, but I need this book. Oh my gosh. But the cool thing is the library did not fine him or make him pay the fine for the simple fact that their maximum overdue fee is only $3.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that universal? I feel like that's not. I
It
feel like
should be. But
other libraries are more than 3.
Yeah. It's like it charges by the day depending on what it is. Because I know that a library I used to go to, there, if like you checked out videos, they charge by the day, or if like you have it for like a week or more, then it goes by the week.
Oh, okay.
So, but $3 a day or a total max.
Right. So he just paid $3 for like 84 years of being overdue.
Yeah, but they didn't even make him pay it. So I was like,
oh, not at
that's
all?
cool. No.
Oh,
they were
wow.
like, it's only $3, and I don't even think people know what this book is or that it's out.
Yeah, did they put it back on the shelves?
They did. And I don't, it's funny because the librarian was like, oh, I know this book, my high school teacher. And she had to be like in her 80s, or she was an older woman.
Yeah.
But she was like, my high school teacher made the whole class of English memorize one of those poems in that book. Yeah.
So it was like his mother's book.
Yeah.
Okay. So and when he brought it in, so they didn't charge him anything, and then they just like put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, like it was all.
Oh, wow,
everything's okay. Yeah, I was like, okay, I like that library.
I want that kind of forgiveness.
Right, Sacramento. Hello, $3.
I know. $3.
$3. I'll give you your book back. I promise. I don't have
Right.
room
If it's
for
only $3, I'll bring it back.
Right. Unless I'm starting my own library, then I don't have a problem paying $3 a book. Then I'll just, make my own profit. That's horrible.
Charge you $3 to read it.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. That is all the weird news we have for you today on this show. Thank you so much for listening, and please join us on future topics for more weird news.